I think I will do this. This is a song called Red Shoes, and I wrote it a number of years ago after an encounter in my parents' driveway. I grew up in a town called Dedham, Massachusetts, just outside of Boston, and my dad still lives there. And it's a really super preppy town. Like, there's a lot of people named Muffy, and like everyone drives a Volvo. And so it's a great town. I still go home lots to visit my folks. And but when you're a folk singer and you go home and try to explain what you do, everyone looks at you like you're a nut job. And I had this encounter where I was in my parents' driveway getting ready to play a gig, putting all my music equipment in the back of the car, and as I was ready to leave, I saw that 2 driveways down, one of my best friends was in her parents' driveway with like her perfect fancy SUV and like her, 3 gorgeous blonde children, and trying to put them in the back of her car to drive away. And we're exactly the same age, like our birthdays are 20 days apart. And I was like, oh, right, like that? Was I supposed to do that? And, like have a baby or have a fancy new car, or, it's just like amazing what happens when you go to your hometown. You start thinking all those thoughts. And I started going down that rabbit hole of self-doubt, and I yelled something down the street. I needed to leave, so I couldn't visit with her, but I was like, it's great to see you, and the kids are so cute. And then the last thing I said, which was so weird and awkward, I yelled, our lives are really different. And she was like, I know. And then I drove away, and I was like, why did you say that? That is so weird. But it was true. It was sort of this perfect divergence of lives, and I think that, and it was like I could start worrying about that, or I could just embrace it and just say it's okay, and I've gotten to do this. And you make a choice, you lose other things, and I think I was having a lot of fear about having a child, because what would that mean? Would I stop writing songs, or would I stop touring? And anyway, it was an interesting thing. And I got in the car and I sort of wrote the words to this kind of in my head, called my voicemail, left the ideas on my phone, and I wrote this later. Now I do have a baby named Luca who's 8 months, and as I sing this song, it sort of takes on a new meaning, I suppose. But I'm still touring with him. This is my first weekend away from him, but he comes on the road with me, and he's a total badass. And I couldn't do it without my mom, who comes on the road with me too. This is Red Shoes.
Now you never call me, but I remember when you called me, honey. I got a head so thick, pride on my tongue. Are you big enough to love me? I felt so hopeless, staring down the barrel of that life. You wouldn't recognize me, but I'm still that same girl running. I got a hotel pen, story in my head, and a little bit of money. The city's so crowded, I find myself alone most of the time. 'Cause I came here for a reason. Now the girls in our town, they don't understand that I love you and I'm leaving. If you let me go, maybe there's a chance. Wouldn't call it easy, but every day I cash these down south. I got a new silk dress, story in the paper. Will I ever make you proud? I sleep so soundly, feel the sun creep across my bed. 'Cause I came here for a please don't make me choose. Oh yeah, 'cause I came here for a reason. No, you girls in our town, they don't understand. No, no. I love you and I'm leaving. Yeah. If you let me go, maybe there's a chance. Yeah. There's a chance. All right.
I wrote this song. This was another commission song that I did for a woman named Mary, or like she's a woman now. She was a girl at the time. She was 17, and her mom asked me to write a song for her high school graduation present. And her mom's super organized, so she asked me to write it when her daughter was still in the 10th grade. Do you want to be that person? I want to be that person who's that organized. But I said yes. And I said, check back in with me, halfway through her senior year, and I will write it then. And I secretly sort of hoped she would forget, because I had never written. I've done a lot of romantic songs, but I haven't done a lot of graduation-y kind of songs. So I was a little nervous about it. But she checked back in, and because I didn't know her daughter, I'd met her like once or twice at a show for 2 seconds. But she went to Mary's. All of her friends and teachers and coworkers, and had her coworkers at school, her fellow students, and they all wrote little blurbs about her, just saying things they loved about her, which alone is a pretty awesome gift. Like, don't you want a booklet about your awesomeness? I mean, who doesn't?
Yes, please.
Yes, please, exactly. So she sent me the booklet, and I learned about Mary and about their relationship through that, and then in the process of writing it, I realized it had nothing to do with graduation. It had everything to do with a single mom kind of getting ready to send her little chicken off into the world, and which is super hard and super exciting, and all those feelings at once probably. So I wrote a letting go kind of song, letting go with love kind of song instead. So this is called On and On. And by the way, I just went to play at their house recently. Mary's 21 now, and they got the lyrics to this song tattooed onto their bodies. Horrifying to me. I mean, not all the lyrics, but like certain lines. And I wanted to be like, that is on your body forever. It just totally had me, anyway, like I had a breakdown about it. And I was so flattered and also wanted to cry at the same time. I never really liked that line. I'm going to change it. You're going to have to change it. I'll pay for you to change it. It was really flattering. Mary, her mom put it here on her sort of clavicle, and then Mary put it down on her ankle. And I made it feel it was okay because the mom did it too. So the mom wasn't mad because she did it also. So this is On and On.
You have your father's eyes, his hair golden dark, my blush, my tiny hands, your own great big heart. It goes on and on, it goes on and on and on. New York, cold front, I days when your smile was the only light. It goes on and on. It goes on and on. I know you're not really mine. You were my child, you were my baby. You were mine for a time. I'm not crying, no. Now you're wings fall down your back. All I wish for you is open sky. It goes on and on. It goes on and on. It goes on.
Misha got a little emotional on that.
She could, but she is a she, right?
Yeah, she's a girl.
Did she bark because she was scared of the clapping?
Oh, she gets excited.
She gets excited.
She's
No,
excited.
She's like, woo!
Yeah.
It's like she works, but she can't clap.
Yeah.
It's funny because when you play and people just clap and nobody does a woohoo, you're like, oh, they weren't that into it. But she did a woohoo.
She did. She likes to be involved.
She loves girls with guitars. It's great. I'm so glad.
She likes to be involved.
She likes to be involved. That's fair enough.
She is very involved.
She's, where is she right now? Right here. She's involved.
She's visiting.
She's adorable. Oh my god.
She thinks so too.
She is so good.
Yeah.
She is super good cuddler. I feel like.
Oh my god, she is, yeah.
Does she sleep in your bed with
She
you?
sleeps
Yes.
right.
She sleeps on your knuckle region,
Yeah,
right
just
here.
snuggle.
Oh, that's so great.
Nancy has 1,000 pictures of it.
Yes. She's been telling me so for 2 months that she gets to meet you.
He's just like, I don't really care. All I care about is you, mommy. That's all she cares about.
No, she reacts when she sees every person in this room, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, she does.
She's really sweet. I love doggies. I have 2 really embarrassing kinds of dogs. Do you want to know? It's embarrassing, but I'm going to tell you.
Do you have a
I have.
humper?
What's that?
You have a humper?
I know. My next life. I have chipoodles. You know what chipoodles are? Chihuahua poodles.
Yeah.
So embarrassing. I know, but they're super cool. They look
They
like
have
they're like
Chiweenies.
Totos. They have Totos.
Chiweenies.
Wait, they have what is it?
The Chiweenie.
Oh, a Chiweenie! I love it. Chihuahua Wiener. Now that's almost a more embarrassing name than Chihuahua. It's neck and neck. You have 1 or 2?
Well, one the other one's are just a Chihuahua.
Oh my god.
Regular one.
What are their names?
Mocha and Nitro.
Oh, I love it. Chiweenie. That is good. I love that. Okay, good. So you have equally embarrassing dogs. Good, I'm glad. They're pretty awesome though, aren't they?
They are.
I love them. I love
Names of
them.
your dogs?
What's that?
What are the names of your dogs?
Phoebe and Lionel.
That's so sweet.
And It was not inspired by Lionel Richie, although I do celebrate Lionel Richie. I have my cousin is a teacher, and she had a student named Lionel, which is such a great name for a kid. I mean, hilarious. And he would always come up to her, and he had a little bit of a speech impediment, and you go, what about me? I'm Lionel. And like, just because his name was Lionel, he was entitled to something. I don't know. What about me? I'm Lionel. And I always I never met this kid, but he always stuck with me. I was like, Lionel. I would always ask about Lionel. So when we got a dog, I was like, we're going to name him Lionel. And sure enough, he totally has that personality. He's always like, what about me? What am I going to get out of this? He's always up in my grill. It's pretty awesome. All right. Looking at your awesome list.
That's awesomeness.
It's so great. Okay, let's see. Let's do this one. Yeah. Hi, Misa.
Just when I had lost my sense of humor, my heart was just a tangle of barbed wire. You're getting me, I get to you sooner. I quit before I'm fired. Tried every trick to stop you in your tracks. Shot off my gun to run you up my left. You're just sitting there trying not to laugh. Held up your hand. That's when I knew your aim was stay. Yeah, that's when I knew that you knew it all. I need you, oh, just a little, yeah. I need you. I was taking pride in being lonely. I was busy making friends with myself. There's nobody else who really knows me half as well. I know how to rock me like a baby, and I know how to sing myself to sleep. But I'm starting to think maybe, just maybe, surrender can be sweet. Yeah, that's what you do. You make it so easy. Yeah, that's what you got me believing. I need you. Oh, just a little, yeah. I need you. I need you. Oh, just a little, just enough to be open, to be grateful, to be broken, hopeful, I need you. Hey, just a little, yeah. I need you. Are you satisfied? I need you. Yeah, just a little, yeah.
That's my ringtone on my phone for all my family members.
For real? Are you serious?
Yeah, I should call.
I love that.
So when the phone rings and
Yeah.
it's like a business call.
Yeah.
It's Devil Doesn't Recognize You by Madonna.
Oh my, me and Madonna.
So like
I love
when
it.
the phone rings and it's that song, I know I can answer it.
That's so great. I love that. Somebody else was telling me they use it as their ringtone. Like how
It's a
do
good
you just
ringtone.
make it? You can just make it a ringtone from whatever you have on your phone, right?
It's like an exact amount of time you can use GarageBand, and you put, if you have it in iTunes, then you just edit it.
So you're tech savvy, I know.
The
Graphic
chorus
designer.
is a
Yeah.
perfect length
Really?
for a ringtone. Yeah, I'll
Look
get
at
one.
you.
I'll get one of them
Flatter.
to call me in a minute, and then you'll.
I know. My God. No, I get super embarrassed. I get super embarrassed to hear myself on compact disc. Or I guess nobody listens. to
Are you
it
kidding?
anymore, but, that's awesome.
What about on MP3? How's that?
On the MP3. Exactly. All right. This is an older tune called Compromise, or parenthetically, Be a Poet About It.
Woohoo!
Yes. This is another tortured one about the songwriter just out of reach. I often find that I like to give advice to other people in my songs, which is so passive aggressive. And then, as we all do, we usually find fault in other people that really we actually see in ourselves, but you often don't realize it until after you get the song done. And I realized that I needed the advice, not him. So here we go.
Your love is sweet and soft. Look how you use those eyes and the way you compromise. Your love is sweet and it's strong. It pulls me in with tight. Up is down, down is wrong. Go or stay, stay or go. Just be a poet about it. Fall down on your knees. Be a poet if that's what you claim to be.
Don't worry about it.
Be a poet outside of your sad poetry.
That dog totally loves this song.
What's the best one?
Your love is neither hot nor cold. It's that you can't quite name it that makes me feel old. Your love comes apart when it hits the light. Go or stay. Stay or go, baby. Just be a poet about it. Roll down on your knees. Be a poet if that's what you claim to be. Be a poet outside of your sad poetry. Oh yeah, be a poet about it. Yeah, work up a sweat, do everything you have not done yet. Be a poet outside of your sad poetry. Yeah, yeah. heart.